When it all comes true, just the way you planned. It's funny, but the bells don't ring. It's a quiet thing. Hi everybody, welcome to Sunday with Allie. Allie Waldman here for Sunday, September 2nd. And why am I singing a quiet thing? Because this week, just this week, I finished the Barbra Memories book. Me and Steve Baxter and Todd Sussman, my two able-bodied partners in the project. And when it was all done, there was no brass band. There was no explosion. There was nothing. Nada. Zilch. But there was the satisfaction of knowing we'd made our deadline. And the book is currently at the printer, and I should be getting my first copy back early next week. And if everything is A-OK, then I can start ordering copies and then we can put it up for sale on Amazon.com, and it will be available for sale on Amazon.com. And I can have the books ready for the people who pre-order it and want a signed copy in New York at the book signing at Jerry Ollinger's. And everything will be hunky-dory. So, a quiet thing. Finishing a project, making your deadline, it's a good thing. Anyway, hello everybody. Welcome to This Week with Sunday with Allie. We actually had a very exciting Barbra week because pretty much out of the blue, we got a sneak preview of Release Me. Barbra's website put out a single track. It was her singing I Think It's Gonna Rain Today with Randy Newman, the composer, at the piano. Now this was a fascinating release because basically, folks, this is kind of different than what the rest of Release Me is going to be. Release Me is going to have a lot more final versions of songs that were simply unreleased. This was definitely more of a rehearsal take. It was Randy Newman on the piano. You could actually hear at the beginning Richard Perry giving him the go-ahead. He misses the go-ahead on the first take. They do a second take, and then he starts playing the piano, and then Barbra comes in, Barbra sings the song. And it's definitely a rehearsal because, you know, you can kind of tell she's, I don't want to say she's learning the song, but she's not like locked into her interpretation of the song. I love it. I love the unplugged quality of it. To me, it's extremely rare to hear Barbra rehearsing like that. We've heard it a couple times before, you know, some of the bootleg sessions from Butterfly. Like this morning on my iPod, I heard You Light Up My Life, the Carole King song, and Barbra was rehearsing it with a couple of musicians for the Butterfly album. It obviously never made the album, but that rehearsal tape is fun to listen to just to hear her sing it or give it a shot. And of course, she didn't even have the lyrics down at that point, but it was still fascinating to hear the unplugged, unperfected version. And that's what I Think It's Gonna Rain Today is. It's also a great example of just how Barbra's voice in 1970, that's when this was recorded, in September of 1970, was just in such a perfect spot. She could literally do just about anything with her voice. It was athletic. It was the tonal quality was perfect. It was silken. She could do just about anything she wanted, and plus she still had, or still has always had, this amazing interpretive gift. So even on a first or second or third reading of I Think It's Gonna Rain Today, you get a real wonderful sense of poignancy and irony that she brings to the song. There have been other wonderful versions of this song, finished products. I like Bette Midler's version from Beaches very, very much. But Barbra's is special. And it's a great example of why Release Me is going to be something that all of us are going to cherish in years to come. Other news for this past week. Suddenly, on YouTube, there have been some new video clips of Barbra. Not new, but the Burt Bacharach show appeared, and today Star Salute Israel appeared in very high-quality versions of the material. Now, I was under the impression that this was a leak from the 12 DVD remastering. But my friend Gustavo on the Barbra message board tells us that this is from a private collector who has had mint copies of all this stuff for a very, very long time and is just now letting some of it out, and it's up on YouTube. So, folks, I encourage you, if you want to see a beautiful version of Star Salute Israel, if you want to see a pristine, beautiful version of the Burt Bacharach show, go check it out on YouTube. You will not be disappointed. Now, we also got some big news this week that Barbra is going to be one of the first guests on Katie Couric's new syndicated talk show. The talk show begins on September 2nd, and by syndicated, that means check your local listings. It could be on at 3 o'clock in your area, it could be on at 9 o'clock in the morning, it could be on at 4 o'clock, wherever the local station decides to put it. I think a lot of ABC stations are going to put it on at 3 o'clock, which would be right after General Hospital, which is sort of what ABC had in mind when they decided to move General Hospital from 3 o'clock to 2 o'clock. So, anyway, between September 10th, which is the day Katie premieres, and September 21st, which is the end of the first 2 weeks of the show, Katie claims that Barbra's on one of those shows. I don't know which one. The show is taped in New York. Barbra will appear. Supposedly she's going to talk about, obviously, the upcoming concerts. She'll talk about Release Me. She's definitely going to talk, though, about the Women's Heart Center in Cedars-Sinai, her work on women cardiac research. And, she's very, very passionate about this. And Katie was I think Katie actually cornered Barbra, supposedly, at that Aspen Festival of Ideas, and convinced her there to come on her show and talk about this issue. And it's coinciding with Barbra having all this exciting stuff going on, starting the concert tour on October 8th in Philadelphia, Release Me coming out September 25th on vinyl, and 2 weeks later on CD. So it's a good time for Barbra to appear on a talk show, a daytime talk show that will appeal to women, also which will get a lot of attention because it's right out of the gate. And, sometimes when a new show appears, it gets more attention because people want to check it out and see what it's all about. Will Barbra sing? Who knows? She might. She might. She sang on the last couple of Oprahs. Maybe they convince her to sing one song. Maybe she does, if the subject of Marvin comes up, maybe she agrees to sing The Way We Were. I would love to hear her sing something new, even something from Release Me that she feels comfortable singing, like Didn't We or something, right? Wouldn't that be cool? So sometime between September 10th and September 21st, The Katie Show. Also, I have it on very good authority that there will be a New York Times piece on Barbra very soon, probably a 50th anniversary story tying into Guilt Trip, her plans for the future, the concerts, her 50th, I told you, I'm repeating myself, my God, I'm repeating myself. You know what movie that's from, don't you? Yeah. Anyway, so she's doing the LA Times. I would not be surprised if she's also doing USA Today. I would hope and really, really pray that Entertainment Weekly or Vanity Fair or Time or Newsweek or somebody else is doing a big feature on Barbra in the 50th anniversary, because she deserves it. She really does. I mean, look what's going on in her career right now. This woman is like super, super active. And she deserves the attention. Look at the legend she's created. Speaking of legends, I can't let this broadcast go by without talking a little bit about what happened the other night at the Republican National Convention when Clint Eastwood appeared to speak on behalf of the GOP nominee, Mitt Romney. Now, as most of you know, and I'm sure, I mean, it's worldwide news, Clint pretty much made a fool of himself. He appeared, he was kind of unprepared, his hair was disheveled, he appeared with a chair, and he talked to the chair as if President Obama was sitting in the chair, and made fun of the president, while, you know, obviously espousing his preference for Mitt Romney as the next president of the United States. Now, Clint Eastwood is entitled to support whoever he wants, and that's all well and good. He should not have said the disrespectful things about President Obama, making it sound like President Obama was cursing at him, telling him to, do that, screw himself. That was not nice. I mean, you don't talk about the presidency in that way, no matter who the president is. So, but the reason I bring this up is not to really make a rant about Clint Eastwood or politics or anything like that. My point is this, and this was actually brought up by CNN. You can only imagine what the Republican right-wing establishment would do if Barbra Streisand appeared at the Democratic National Convention and did something that inappropriate. I mean, she would be ridiculed, skewered, barbecued. I mean, they would rip her to shreds. It would be all over Rush Limbaugh, all over the Drudge Report. They would not leave her alone. And they would not excuse her. And they would not forgive her. And it was bad enough that Barbara did her little Bush sketch in the 2006 concert, which was gentle humor and with a Bush impersonator. I didn't think it was particularly funny, Between You and Me and the Lamppost, but it wasn't nasty. And she always showed respect for President Bush, even while she was completely against all of his policies. In fact, at the Kennedy Center Honors, when he introduced her, she responded very favorably. She accepted his kiss. And afterwards she said, tonight is about art, not politics. So I thought she was a lot more classy. I thought Clint showed absolutely no class at all. And, but I'll tell you something, guys. That would never happen to Barbara. And you want to know why? Because she would never agree to appear at an event like that without rehearsal, preparation, running a little videotape to see how it looks, and having all of her ducks in a row. Because that's just how Barbara is. Control freak, yes. Director, yes. But she also, she cares about, putting forth the right image, I believe. So it's like, that's why when she does kind of lose it, like that heckler in New York during the 2006 concert who told her to shut the fuck up, or rather she told them to shut the fuck up, pardon my French, I loved that because it was Barbara losing it. And every now and then she should, but I don't think she would ever do it at a national convention. Okay. I wanted to talk to you about a subject that came up with my friend Todd one day when we were working on the book and talking about Barbara, and we got into the subject of Barbara. Is she, as an actress, is Barbara too in control? Does she control her emotions too much and therefore never reach her core as an actress? And it's Todd's contention, and I agree with him, that Barbara's lost it plenty of times in character. There was the scene in Mirror Has Two Faces where Rose is devastated by the rejection from Gregory, goes into the bathroom, sees herself in the mirror, and hates what she sees so much that she's literally broken down in tears. That was complete raw emotion. Todd also points out the scene in Nuts when Claudia is being dragged out of the courthouse, out of the courtroom. completely unleashed. She's completely in character, completely uncontrolled. I think the scene in Up the Sandbox when Margaret goes into the elevator with Paul and just has a temper tantrum. I mean, she freaks out. She really does. So there are plenty of times when Barbra can lose it as an actress and have big emotional explosions. But I think her most powerful performances are sometimes when she's completely quiet, when she just lets her face do the talking. Now, you know the scene in The Prince of Tides when Lowenstein comes out of her office and she sees Tom across the street and she knows just by looking at him that he's going back to Sally? That scene on her face, that look, says everything. It's much more effective than any of the dialogue that follows. It's Barbra's face. And there was a great article this week. I encourage you to look for it online. It was on a site called AfterElton.com. And it was all about What's Up Doc. And it was complimenting the fact that Barbra is a brilliant comedian. Brilliant. I mean, she's so good and so underrated and so funny. And they show one clip, which I think sort of emphasizes what I'm talking about here. It's the scene in the hotel drugstore when Howard is going on and on about his rocks. And she's listening. And she's eating a carrot. And she's listening. And she's listening. And these reactions on her face are hilarious. They're so funny as she's just listening to him go on. And then, of course, she comes back with this rejoinder about, she's always been more, attracted to, feldspar, quartz, magnesium, cryoxide, whatever she says. It's hilarious. So go check that out at AfterElton.com. And I wanted to read this to you. The guy who wrote the article takes on a site called BuzzFeed that criticized Barbra in some way. And he defended Barbra, and this is what he said about her. She's the definitive entertainer, a perfect singer, a smashing actress, and an unforgettably dynamic performer. True. It's all true, right? Anyway, let me see what else is on my list here. I want to make sure. Oh, I got a very, very good source telling me about Guilt Trip. Now, he told me he knows somebody at Paramount. Paramount is, as I've been telling you for a while, is very excited about the movie. And the guy from Paramount said that the movie is hysterical. They think it's hysterical. They think that Seth and Barbra have this electric chemistry that nobody expected, which is kind of what Ann Fletcher said in Entertainment Weekly. And the guy says to my inside source that Barbra is not Barbra Streisand in this movie. She creates the character, and she's very, very funny, but she does become the character. So, we shall see. I'm very excited. I still don't think we're going to see a poster or a trailer till October, but hey, it's already September 2nd, so we're getting closer, right, guys? Right. Let me see. What else did I miss? Oh, I want to make a very important point about Barbra Memories. If you want to buy the book at the book signing, I will only have enough books from the people who pre-order. I can't afford to ship books there and then have to worry about shipping the books back and hope that people show up to buy it. So this isn't a traditional book signing like you might see at Barnes & Noble. So please, if you really want a copy of the book, go to thebarbrafiles.com, click on the PayPal button, buy the book in advance. I will make sure that it's at the book signing in New York, and I will sign it for you there. Also, for everybody who contributed to Kickstarter and gets the $5 off coupon, I am giving you back that $5 off coupon towards the purchase of Barbra Memories via PayPal. So when you do make the purchase of the pre-order, I will get that $5 back to you, okay? As for anybody else who buys it, not through there, not through the early, we'll figure it out later. Okay, this is a little complicated for me, folks. I'm doing the best I can to keep all the balls in the air. You know, the marketing, the selling, the writing, the editing. It's a lot to take on, probably more than I should have, but I'm still trying to keep it all together. Please have patience with me. You know, as they say in Yentl, patience yields many good things. Finally, a little bit. It's 2:23. I can't 20:23. I can't believe I'm talking this long. But I have one more important thing to tell you guys, and it's a scoop. And I know how you guys run with the scoops. So here's what I heard. And take it with a big grain of salt. It may be true, it may not be true. I hear there may be more concerts added to this 2012 tour. I don't know where, I don't know when, but it looks like it's going to happen. And for the people who are kvetching about these tickets not selling in Canada, all I have to say to you is this. The venues that want Barbra Streisand are the ones that are putting up the guarantees about the tickets. It's not up to Barbra to sell the tickets. It's up to the venues to sell the tickets. Her name is on the marquee, but the venues are the ones that are promising that they're going to fill the seats. If they don't fill the seats, then yes, that does reflect back on Barbra eventually. But it will reflect back on Barbra eventually if there's another tour in the future. Because right now they're clamoring for more Streisand. They want her all over the world. Brazil, Japan, China, Israel. Every major, places all over the world want Barbra Streisand in concert. So if she's not selling out all the tickets in Canada, it doesn't matter to me, and it shouldn't really matter to you. If you get to see her, that's all that matters. That's all that matters, right? So that's all I have to say on that subject. Just know that if there was no desire for people to see Barbra Streisand, then these other places would not be looking to book her for this tour. And if the tour continues, I don't think it'll continue past 2012. So take it for what it's worth. Let me review my list here, make sure I didn't miss anything. I don't think so. I think we got it all in. I'm excited about Release Me. I'm excited about the upcoming PR for, whatever Barbra's planning with the 50th anniversary, Release Me, the Gypsy. It's all good. It's all good. So until next week, this is Allie. Oh, one final word. We're still here. The hurricane was a lot of rain, a lot of wind, but we never lost power and we never lost internet, and everybody is safe and sound. All my family is safe and sound. Today I'm going to my sister Meryl's birthday party. Happy birthday, Meryl. Everything has worked out perfectly. And I will see you guys next week for another edition of Sunday with Allie. And I hope you have a great week. Bye-bye.